Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I just started up my camera and it wouldn't go right away, so there'll be an empty copy with zeros on it. That's what happened the other day, and while I was doing this, day before yesterday, I went into my photos like I was telling you, and I erased the video that I thought was the empty one, but it was the one I was doing. That was a big disappointment. Oh, such is life, right? How are you doing today? I'm doing okay, not too bad. Talk about sad. There's two young people on this video that Chuck Swindoll made. Um, the name of his video, and I'm going to share that in here, is called Khazarian Mafia, The God Eaters, Part 3A. Um, I don't know what, Mandictinine. Oh, wait, I should know this. Menacing menacing the mind, I think is what it says. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you can tell me what the heck that says. I just can't do it right now. My mind's going 100 miles an hour. I felt like crying for these young people. Um, my question of the day for people, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I've been through. Um, some of you know that what I've said happened to me when I was a kid. Um, it might seem way out there and everything, but believe this, somebody like me doesn't walk away from all kinds of money and anything they really want. Well, not it wasn't like that. It was anything they had wasn't worth what I had to go through. So I started running away at 5, but people don't take their parents to court and divorce them when they're a kid and go out on their own, um, because they're having a great life, right? So here's the that's the first thing. My question is, do you believe that satanic ritual abuse is a real thing, or do you think that it's more hocus pocus stuff and that it's not real? That's my question to people. Do you think that Satanism is just a fad and it doesn't have dark aspects that doesn't belong in the human family? That's my question of the day for you. Um, these people, these kids, young people on this video I'm going to share have the same blood type. They talk about the electronics, the drugs, what they felt like. Like I told you, I was electrocuted. I had been taken places and weird things happened to me, like underground train travel and different things in my life that is just way out there and hard to prove. But when you see somebody else, there's some people talk about that type of thing, and I'm like, I'll hear about 3 words they have to say, and then it's like, you're getting liar, you know. That's about it. And I'll get a little bit, but just right away you can tell. You can just tell them these people have the same blood type and the same lineage, family lineage. That's not a coincidence of what they're doing to people in the world. Not at all. And that's my topic of the day, you know, because abuse and the way they go about it, um, it's an orchestrated thing for control of people. And that's what Chuck is getting at too, as the God Eaters. What bloodline? It's not their bloodline that carries the powers of the world. It's the ones that they want to control. It's you or I, you know. That's why I refuse to hail Satan. I will never, never. If I could personally slap that entity's head off, I'll never change my mind on how I feel about that. I don't care if people say, well, it's needed, good or bad. No, when there's children abuse and it's not just sexual, it's from every aspect of your life into adulthood and then trying to do the same with your children. These patterns continue through certain families. You'll never get me to praise the entity that's in control of that organization. Never. And furthermore, a lot of you know my life motto: I would rather die than lie. If you can do the same thing, if you can repeat that after me and mean that with your whole heart, you're good to go. You really are. Even if you mess up and you walk with a repentive heart, if I do or say something mean to you, if I don't recognize that I've done that and have remorse for that, then I'm scum. And speaking of scum, to the person that pointed out that there's remote viewers that keep track of the Dracos, I live with the head one. And I used to remote view. I am saying, and the title says, oh, don't get pissed, Barb. Some people are just narcissistic and have to take your words and say it to you like they said it first. That's a little bit narcissistic. Like the title said, unless you are sent by God and you're remote viewing, you're scum of the earth, right? Glad you really agreed. And that's what I wrote. And then I said, LOL. Little funny, how old are you? Narcissist. That's what they do. They take your own words and repeat them back to you like they said them. That's fucking brilliant. Wish I had thought of that. Cheers, everybody. Listen, I went up against the dark cabal when I was a little kid. If you can say the same thing, if you're in that league, hey, you can be a friend of mine. If you are not even on that level, you don't know what you're talking about, and you better fucking leave me alone. I don't play nice. I don't play at all. I'll play fair, but not with um people that are sent by Satan to try and mess with me. I don't play with you. You want my address? I spar with people. I'm just dying, aren't we all? I'm just dying to have a sparring match with somebody that thinks they're brave enough. How you like that? And every day I tell you where I live and my address and my phone number. I don't usually answer my phone, but you can contact me on here. You can contact me on Facebook, and I'll give you my physical address. We'll sit down for a chat and a cup of coffee, and if you still feel like a little, we'll go out and take care of it. And I don't care who you are. If you're that fearless, come on over. A lot of men have tried to this day, so have fun playing with me over this internet. Or you can give me your address if you're close enough. I'll come over to you. Don't play with me. When you try and hurt or back somebody in a corner that's been nothing but boffed with their whole in life, that's something you don't even want to play with. Just saying. Uh, You just, oh, they know not what they do. Yeah, they do. Every adult's got the opportunity to walk this world and do things the right way with not bending other people over backwards just so you can insert yourself, if you get the drift. So, yes, there's noise. Doug's out back with the truck. He's unloading a gas tank. So there'll be a little bit of nothing that is going to be too disturbing, I'm sure. If he comes in, I'll have him say hello, you know. Then you can see who's playing with the minds of the whole world. And people, I say I live with Satan. People are like, yeah, women say that, don't they? But women were raised by Jesuits and Masons and are of that bloodline and can speak on that, what they've done all their life. Are they and do they? No, they don't. So somebody's got to do what I'm doing, and the world has gotten a little more pleasant in some ways. Some ways. It's very disturbing in other ways, but people reaching for enlightenment and spirituality, I mean, it's nothing new, but it is a part of the Great Awakening. And that's just lifting the veil of the apocalypse so people can see things that secret societies and hidden agendas, that type of thing. So, and that's when my war started, when I was old enough to realize what they were doing to every generation right from the beginning of their lives. It wasn't just me. I thought, geez, okay, so I live in kind of a situation that I don't want to be in, because like I tell people, I don't know if you know this, but I had a spot. This is what I would do when I was a little kid to be able to get some sleep without the deviant nature of where I lived around me. I dug a hole in the side of the hill in the woods, sorta, and made little shelves. I kind of made like a little house with my hands, and I would crawl in there and take a nap, you know. I started doing that when I was really little. Now, there is more to it. I mean, like I stole some cigarettes from my great uncle and started smoking when I was 5, but, you know. What's a kid gonna do, right? Now, getting the matches, that was harder. That was the hard thing. One time, I got a cigar from my grandpa. I had a grandfather and a grandpa, if that makes sense to people. Adopted people. And my grandfather, I took, oh no, it was my grandpa, the bad one. I took a cigar from him and shared it with my friend, Patty and I, and we both about puked. Um, I think that, and before, I mean, I didn't smoke every day, but after that, smoking a cigarette was really nothing, you know. And then I would go places with my grandfather. He had a couple of, was like a gentleman's sports car back in the day, was a let's see, 1961 Studebaker Turismo, was a little white car with baby blue interior or sky blue interior, leather seats, just beautiful car. But I'd we'd my his daughter, my adopted mom, and we'd like go places with him or something, and he'd smoke cigars and not crack the window. I had to beg him, and he'd open it, but I just about gag in there. I just about die sitting in the back seat, you know. So I think that was probably the beginning of my inoculation tobacco products, you know. When I got older, I started using it with a Native American mindset and a spirituality connection that I don't think a lot of people do or understand or whatever. And I work it out of myself. Like I just got through doing 30 push-ups and a bunch of leg raisers backwards and, you know, some work this morning and that, real physical type things that keep me strong, you know. So anyway, or from that way, hey, whatever, if you got it, flaunt it, right? At 66, if you're that strong, hey, good for you. Can you put your elbows on the floor when you bend over, you know, or your head between your legs and grab your back of your legs? Try that one. It takes talent. That really is started with my yoga. I started in my martial arts at 15, but my fighting skills didn't start at 15. Just the um, organized skills like sword fighting and knife throwing and whips and guns and everything else and hand-to-hand combat, wrestling and boxing and all, everything. That was from day one type of thing for me. So I've been training all my life. I started lifting weights at 9. I was so happy. At 9 years old, I did 10 repetitions of overhead. Um, I think they call them uh, vertical raises or presses from the ground up. I did 10 of them with 80 pounds when I was 9 years old. I was so proud because even my older brother at 12 had troubles with that. So, yeah, I was catching up so I could beat him up. That's all. He was a jerk. He also raped my child, so he was more than a jerk. And both my children are boys. So, yeah, I've been through some with these people, and it is absolutely real. When I started getting into the public and I started kind of getting in trouble in school because I was either skipping or, and they sent me to like a special, not special, private school to keep me out of trouble and then move me out of the city to try and hide what they might have got busted for. And I didn't know that back then. They had taken me to first the top of the line child psychologist through it was called let me see, trying to pin their bullshit on me. What was that called? Oh, it's some big bullshitty place that now deals with drug and alcohol too, but um big name. Everybody would know it if I could spit it out in Golden Valley, Minnesota. But anyway, and I wanted to tell this dude what was going on, but he was looking at me the wrong fucking way. How can you talk to somebody like that when you're like 13 or 14? It was impossible. Then when I a little older than that, or maybe I was a little younger than that, and then around 14, they took me to the state place that was the orphanage I came from, that I was sold 2 times. Once when I was brand new, and then brought back by those Masons 2 weeks later and sold to another family. That's child trafficking done by the state, by the way, people. And so they took me to this place where I came from. Well, not the hospital I was born in, but this agency had counselors and whatever, and this woman wanted to talk to me. It's the same like when they took me to that first psychiatrist and then they left me out in the hall and my adopted folks went in with their Masonic buddy there and talked about me and everything, and I have excellent hearing too. But then when they took me to that orphanage one and I was talking to this woman, she was like a hippie type person, and she really wanted to talk to me, but I couldn't trust her because she was kind of going on what my adopted mom was saying and not realizing that there was more going on beneath the surface, or she was just a part of it and I couldn't trust anybody anyway. So that this was in the middle of me starting to really run away in a big time, like going way down south and everything, just trying to get away till I started the paperwork to get myself emancipated. And kids do not do that usually unless something pretty drastic is going on in the home, you know. You don't go and get an apartment and a job. I got a as a student teacher for third and fourth graders through the state at a public school and had my own apartment. Then I took them before a judge and got the paper signed to free myself finally. And people don't do that unless they're desperate. And I'm telling you, these things are real. And Satanism isn't a joke. And no, you don't hail Satan. You hail the person that gives you the opportunity to be in the flesh, not the one that destroys it, you know? Just remember that. Because I'm strong. These fuckers could not kill me. Several times they actually tried, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but they were real, whether you think so or not. And that's why I still have that fight in me, and it's dangerous. And am I proud of it? I'm proud of me, you know, and that's a part of me. Just if people want that, you can have it. I just want it till I don't need it anymore. And that's not going to be till I'm not here because I'm in a war other people can't handle. So it's a fact. If they could, they would have done it themselves. Decoded the blue book and got all that information out for people to begin with. Even what the Morgellon bugs are, the three that go into the nine and have three different gestation periods and things that are going on in our bodies with that microbial warfare that can be. That's how Satan controls the flesh, is with those flukes, those worms within ourselves, what people would call parasites. That's always in us. He doesn't actually control your flesh or your heart or your mind, but he's able to with self-induced sicknesses or sicknesses that they put in you through poisoning or hypnotism or different things that drugs, different things that they do to you or me try to, you know. And you better know who's protecting you because it isn't Satan. In the end, when you praise Satan, you're going to pay for that because he didn't make you. He stole the formula, but that's not his. You need to get that part straight. So, anyway, I got that straight when I was a little kid. And that's why I'm out here talking about it. And yeah, I did write articles over on morgellons.org after I analyzed my blood that the CDC tried to hide my records with what they called was a unknown fluke. It was way worse than that. I actually went to a branch of the CDC and several other places, one connected with the Mayo Clinic, and then I got a microscope, and I excelled in my science and biology classes, so I knew enough where I could study on that and try and get this information about those vials of little things that I found in the Masonic Lodge, the Blue Lodge. That's the hidden secret lodge for people that are new to all this, you know, and the ceremonies and the different things the weird things that went happened to me when I was a little kid. Very, very strange things. So, and if you actually get to know what goes on with people, you'll be totally amazed that any of us were strong enough to walk out of that shit, you know? Survive, live through it, you know? No, you're going to live through it easier if you're not going to fight and you're enjoying it. If you're joining in, but you're still susceptible to anything they want to do to you because they turn on their own, just like the snake eating its tail. That's what this sickness in this world is that people don't understand. They need to overcome that in the flesh. Everything else, if you can control that within your own mind and you have an innocence about yourself in your daily life, you don't have a problem. Even if you have problems, you're doing good. If you actually wake up in the morning with an innocent heart and it's fresh, and you look outside and you think, wow, you know, Satan didn't make this. What a beautiful world, you know. I'll hail Satan all right with Doug's 10-pound circus mall. Oh, I think he's got a 20-pound one. You bam, motherfucker. I'll never hail that shit. He has no business controlling God's green earth. Our judgment and our intuitions and insights are clean without his interference of trying to put stumbling blocks before people. And you'll never take the anger out of my heart for all that and the generations coming up. What I'm doing and what I'm saying to the people that need to hear it. If anybody else sounds like that, I mean, if somebody's flying off the handle, like, going downright all hood or whatever, on a daily basis, and um, they don't actually have a constructive mode behind what they're doing. It's more of a destructive nature. that's that's unreasonable anger. That's madness. And one thing my adopted dad taught me, a saying that I love: only dogs get mad, people get angry. That's true. I did learn a lot from them. I mean, don't get me wrong, these people weren't stupid. Both my parents worked for the state, and I mean, I did a couple times too as a paraprofessional and in the kitchen, janitorial, um, student teacher, uh, you know, working in the classroom with emotionally disturbed teenagers. Poor little things. So, yeah, this is all real, and people need to understand the control that starts right from the cradle and start guarding your families more closely and teaching them that this is a reality. Teach them what's going on in the world. If it doesn't appear to be happening to you, you better know that it's real and you better teach and protect people from all this because it's absolutely true. So I love you all. That's what I'm doing out here. So peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at. I love you.